Mike Palecek. I'm the National President of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. And before I get started, I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge all of the people who are not in this room today who were denied visas to come to the World Social Forum. One of those people was Brother Imad Tamiza, who we tried to bring in. We tried to bring him here many times, and he's been denied every time. He's the president of the Palestine Postal Service Workers Union, and I think it's a very sad day that the World Social Forum has come to Montreal, and the Canadian state has stopped the world from coming in. But on to what we're here to talk about, which is the LEAP Manifesto and how it sort of intersects with the work of our union, at least. And when we were first asked to sign on to the LEAP Manifesto and to help build this, we did it without hesitation. It didn't take very, very much debate at all, because I think our union is an anti-capitalist union, and we're proud to come from an activist tradition. And so we recognize right off the bat that radical change is necessary. And I think the principle of the LEAP Manifesto is very much that slow and gradual change, the sort of piecemeal approach that is being taken by the governments of the world, is not going to solve the climate crisis. Sure. The reality is we're out of time, and we need radical change to meet these challenges. And what I particularly love about the LEAP Manifesto is that it takes this idea and says we can solve this crisis, we can make this radical change, and we can do it while solving all of the social inequities that we have in this country. If we start from the most marginalized under the current system, it'll take us to a better place when we develop a new socio-economic system. And let's be clear, what's needed here is a new socio-economic system, not just in Canada, but around the world. Because the truth of the matter is, and I think we all know it, the free market is not going to fix this. The capitalist system is not going to fix this problem. It's going to take mass intervention of the population rising up to demand the changes that need to be made. And that's the only way we're going to come to a solution. And so for us, when we embraced this program, the next challenge was to actually make it relevant to the work that we do. And that happened, I think, earlier this year in a sort of last-minute thrown-together campaign that Avi and Naomi came to us just a few weeks before the LEAP Day and said that they wanted to announce a big project for part of for the LEAP Day, for the LEAP campaign, and they wanted to talk about greening the post office. And in a matter of a few weeks, we pulled together sort of all of the best brains in our union and in the progressive movement, and we threw together a plan for not only greening Canada Post, but actually using the post office to green the rest of the economy. And that was a campaign that we call Delivering Community Power. You can check out the website at deliveringcommunitypower.ca. And it's this plan to green the post office, and it's multi-pronged. Again, it has ideas about helping Canada Post green its operations, like moving the entire vehicle fleet over to electric vehicles. Canada Post has the largest vehicle fleet in the country with 16,000 vehicles. Well, we know that would make a major change and push things in the right direction. But we also talked about using the infrastructure of Canada Post to help lead this change. And the first thing that we thought could be done is by putting electric charging stations for electric vehicles open to the public in every post office in all 6,500 locations across the country. And if we did that, it could be done with minimal investment, but it would provide that network right across the country in every single town, so that your average Joe public could go out and buy an electric vehicle and not worry about where they're going to plug it in, which is a major challenge right now. We looked at the possibility of of transforming and retooling some of the auto plants. We have hundreds of thousands of laid-off auto workers and manufacturing workers across this country. And we have these plants that are sitting idle and not being used. Well, if the government was prepared to put its money where its mouth is and actually retool some of these plants to produce electric vehicles, Canada Post could put in the very first order. And then we could be leading that change. Sure, the first 16,000 vehicles that come off the line will go to this Crown Corporation, but after that, other organizations will be able to put in orders, will be able to transition their fleets, and the public will be able to buy their own electric vehicles. And so it was a plan to not only green Canada Post, but help lead the change that needs to be made in our economy. And I think you know, we pulled together this skeleton of a campaign with absolute lightning speed. It took us a few weeks before we were actually holding a press conference and announcing it. But since then, we've been working to sort of put flesh on the bones of that skeleton that we put together and make these ideas come alive and make these ideas work. Of course, another major idea that our union has been campaigning for years now is postal banking, a public bank operated through the post office. Now, this is something that's worked very well around the world and is actually the norm outside of North America. In most industrialized countries, the post office also functions as a public bank. We know that that would be very well situated here and very much needed here in a country as large as ours, where we have rural people who don't have access to financial inclusion, where we have marginalized people and the most poor people in our society who can't actually get bank accounts. All of these people would be very well served by it. But we then took a look at how this could be used to help green the economy, how this could be used to lead that transition. And we know that in other places around the world, the postal bank is used for social needs. Like, for example, in France, La Poste uses a portion of the profits from their postal bank to help support social housing in the country. Well, we thought we could use a postal bank here to support green initiatives, provide microloans to people who want to put you know, solar panels on their homes and that sort of thing. So it was an idea of not just transforming the post office, but seeing how the post office can be used to transform the rest of the economy. And of course, I don't have time to go into everything that entails, but we threw ourselves into this wholeheartedly and have picked up the campaign and are trying to push it forward. And what we really need to see happen across the country is for the entire rest of the labor movement to have the same sort of visioning process, for each union to really look at their sectors and what it would take to green those sectors, and have the labor movement develop the plan for a green economy sector by sector. And if we can do that, we can come together for a real plan that will transform this country, that will defeat the capitalist agenda in Canada and around the world, and actually lead the transition and make the leap that we need to make.